Hello, my name is Eric Lusa. I'm the audio editor and the character of Don Fleur in the production. For those who haven't watched the previous episodes, this content is considered PG-13 due to the references to alcohol and to violence. Also, everything is entirely unscripted, so everything from dialogue to events is dictated on the spot by the actors and the DM. This isn't a proper show, so while I edit everything together, it's all done in one take, leading to some random and sometimes awkward dialogue. But with that out of the way, on to the show.
Hello, and welcome to another thrilling episode of Lost Fortune of Dead Man's Swamp. We're just going to be here to reintroduce the cast, including our newest cameo appearance with one of our secondary actors, and then we'll kind of get everyone up to speed, and then we will start the session. First of all, my name is Mr. Clancy, and I am the Dungeon Master.
Hi, I'm Roz Hoff.
Hi, I'm Janelle Guido.
Hi, I'm Eric Lusa.
Hi, I'm Kronos.
Hi, I'm Rena Shreen.
Hi, I'm Sammy Calderon.
Okay, so now at this time, I want to politely ask if there's anyone willing to recount what exactly happened last time. I think McCoy was going to say something. That's fine. Reno said Reno will use that microphone because that one, I think there's a better audio with that one. Yeah.
I believe what happened last session is that we avoided combat with the fish by feeding it our food. We did discover that inside the crates were guns, books that were blank, and a few bottles of substances. And the red one was magic. It allowed us to speak to animals. So we had animal shenanigans, and I'm fishing right now, and I'm being held by arrow point by a bunch of people.
Yep. And just to let you guys know, we learned lots of other things, like how, Jesse's donkey is not named Lev, it's actually Hidalgo, and the donkey was very extra about that. And just to let our audience know, our main actor, Lucas, who does play as Jesse, will not be here today, but I will be taking over as their character. So with that said, let's kind of resume. So in this case, Abigail, you're kind of like fishing, and when you looked forward, obviously because you rolled low last time, you did not notice that there were about 20 people who are all quietly pointing their arrows at you, and as of right now, no one else on the boat seems to know what's going on. What do you want to do?
I didn't seem to notice.
McCoy wants to say something? That microphone's a little... It's not hearing as well, so
We swapped.
Cool.
Okay, so I don't think anyone remembers, but I'm right next to Abigail.
Okay, so you're right there. And I'm just going to say, like, when you're kind of, like, more focused on the fishing line, and when they riddled up, well, that's when you look forward and you see these people. So what exactly are you going to do?
Does Abigail know?
No, Abigail's just kind of sitting there, just kind of like, fish.
Fish. I should try to alert the captain.
You're the captain.
Wait, no, sorry. That one guy, Chester.
Yeah, Chester.
Okay, so Chester's kind of at the wheel, and he's kind of looking down. He's not really paying attention. They're all just like, their arms are rolled back. So like, if they want to let go, they will. But they're just sitting there aiming at you.
I look over to Abigail, and I say, should we duck?
What?
Should we duck?
Why?
That just prevents our chances from being shot.
Shot by what?
And, oh, wait, you don't see that right there? Yeah, you don't see that?
Oh.
Whoa.
My character kind of puts her hands up in the air just slowly.
Okay. Yeah.
Claude was above deck too. He was like near the stairs because I remember Godfrey was like. I remember Godfrey was like upset with him. So, do I like see them raising their hands at all or no?
I would say you do, and Chester's looking down and seeing them raising their hand as well, and he's like, What are you guys doing down there?
Can I try to like roll to see if I see the people?
I'm just gonna assume because you're upper deck and you only turn to the right, you're gonna probably see all these like people with arrows, like they're popped out of the, these bushes and whatnot, and they're all just sitting there.
Okay.
Chester rears like, oh, and just seems to now just notice these people.
can I kind of motion for like Abigail and McCoy to like kind of back away from the front of the deck, kind of?
Sure. You kind of see Claude trying to motion you over.
Because I'm kind of near like the stairwell.
Yeah.
So.
Do you guys like try to go along or?
Yeah, I'm gonna go along with that.
Okay, so you're slowly moving, backing away, and from down below, off the boat, one of the people holding the arrow says, "Don't move." And these people are all just sitting there really quietly and patiently. They're holding their arms back, and their arms not even trembling. They're just like, as if they can do this for much longer. One voice kind of like speaks out and says, "State who you are. Who's in charge?"
I'm in charge. My name is McCoy.
Speak, McCoy. What brings you here?
We're just here to pass by to go to a hut, right?
Yeah, to visit the lady.
To visit a lady who supposedly lives here.
She lives further down.
Further down, and we're just passing by. We mean no harm.
Roll. Can you roll charisma, please?
13.
They're kind of looking at you as if a little unsure what to make of you. So they still are pointing their arrows at you. This person looks over to this other warrior on the right, and they're like whispering to each other. They look back and they says, "This is our land, and if you want passage, you need to speak to our chief."
I would love to speak to your chief.
In the meanwhile, like, you guys all hear this, and Chester is eyes are kind of widened, and they're just gripping the boat wheel, like, very, like, intensely. And the warrior kind of looks, "You will come on our boats. We will bring you to our chief. You will forfeit your weapons. And if you are trustworthy, you will get them back."
All right. I can call them. I can round them up, and we can. Yeah.
Okay, so you kind of quickly hear McCoy call everyone up.
Claude kind of just, because he's still where he was
Yeah.
like at the stairwell. He kind
Yeah.
of motions for Godfrey to come up, and then he walks over to McCoy because Godfrey still has his gun pointed at him right now.
shotgun.
Yeah.
He's not threatened by you at all.
And right now they're seeing that and they're saying, "Tell him to lower his weapon."
Hey, free god. Whatever your name is, weirdo. Lower your weapon.
Why would I do that?
Would you like to like die?
No.
Exactly. So lower it down because there are people down there about to attack us.
Oh, okay. Now I understand. And then I lower my weapon. I was like, why would I lower my weapon?
At least you didn't point at your own face. That would be embarrassing. Yeah.
Can I also just whisper to Claude, that I thought you said they were friendly.
I don't usually interact with them. I've like seen their like force before and occasionally seen them, but I don't really
I like
talk to
how
them.
they're just closet clarifying. It's like, "Oh yeah, well, I never really talked to them. So technically..."
You should have said that earlier. We could have gone to another route.
Well, this is on the way to the lady's house, so we would have had to pass it anyways.
Fair point.
At this time, they're all just kind of sitting there, and you kind of see from, this foggy, like, marsh area, you see, like, there's a few canoes, as if they're coming out, like, they just materialize. You don't know, like, whether they've been back there the entire time, but they're just, like, there are 3 canoes kind of paddling in. There are 2 warriors, like, paddling the canoes, and they're looking up, and they just dock right by the boat. And the person who's talking to McCoy says, "Please advise, like, we understand that this is your boat. Is there anyone who needs to be left here to tend to it?"
Chester. The man at the wheel.
No.
No, absolutely not.
No,
We don't trust you.
I'm not.
no, you're coming with.
I'm not
I'll force you to
staying with Chester.
If we have to take John.
This is your redemption arc. Come on.
Taking you.
Oh, yeah,
Did you say
right.
no?
Jesse,
Because that one mistake.
Jesse kind of chimes in. Is like, "Hey, I don't really want to leave Hidalgo here or Lev." He kind of looks down for a second and says, as if trying to remember, like, Hidalgo. I mean, I'll stay here with Chester, if that's okay with you, McCoy.
Absolutely fine.
He's trustworthy.
And he kind of nods a little bit and just sort of stands by. The warrior down below kind of looks up and says, "Is there anyone else staying on the boat?"
Is there anyone else on the boat? Did you say?
No, he's like.
Anyone else that's going to stay behind besides Chester?
None. Just Jesse.
And
Chester.
I raise my hand. Oh, I'm staying.
Do not listen to him. Absolutely not.
I'm going. I'm staying.
He's not. Can I?
No.
Yeah, you are going. You are going.
Claude can Claude kind of talk to one of them,
To who?
like the people in the.
Be quick.
I don't think we should let him stay. He's not exactly trustworthy, so. I
The
think we
warrior
should
look.
take him with us.
Can you roll charisma?
14.
Oh, you have -2. Yeesh.
They kind of look at you, and they look at Godfrey, and they said, "You, on the boat.
Which one?
Me?
Him, yeah.
You,
He's just
Yeah.
pointing a gun at me.
on the boat."
Yes.
And at this time, they're kind of like, Chester's kind of like quietly walking over as he sees the 3 canoes kind of line up. And he brings down like a little ladder, and they're all just sitting there waiting for you guys to jump on the boat. Who's gonna go?
We have to leave our weapons on the boat, or
No, it's like, so when you say that, they say like, no, give it to the warrior on the boat, and they'll hang on to it.
that's unfortunate.
Truly.
If you're trustworthy, you'll get it back. Or if our chief commands it so.
Keep my dead right on a bandolier. I can't drop that. All right. I guess I'm gonna go down and hand my weapons to them.
Okay. So I will say like you're the first one climbing down. You give your weapons and they hang on to it. And they like wrap it up in the nice little sack like carefully and they just put it behind them and they're just waiting for one more person to come on the boat. Yeah.
Can Claude hop down and he'll just give them his weapons
Yeah.
without hesitation? He's like,
So you get the weapons. So there's two people in the canoe and this one already kind of drifts off. It starts paddling away into the fog. The warrior kind of says, "Who's next?" As another canoe waits.
Godfrey is next. Go on.
Okay.
Fine. And then I go and I'm gonna drop all my stuff. Can I ask permission to keep my sword though? Because it's very sentimental to me.
Can you roll charisma?
Okay. I rolled a nat 1.
Rolled a 3. So just because you rolled a nat 1, they said no.
Okay, and then I hand all my stuff over.
And they wrap it up and they put it aside. And there's room for one more person.
Okay, sorry, I just need to do that. So I'm going to get on the boat and he's gonna request the weapons, right? I'm gonna hand over everything except for the pocket knife, so the bows and arrows, the pocket gun.
Are you gonna attempt to keep those?
I hand over everything but the pocket knife. The pocket knife I'm gonna ask permission to keep on me. I'm gonna say specifically like, it will not be drawn, as you can trust me as long as you stay somewhat away from me. It shall not come to hurt you.
Are you using charisma or intimidation for this? I mean, they're both the same
charisma.
thing, but
I mean, actually, what I mean is like,
Charisma, please.
just roll for charisma.
Actually, what I meant was like, you can trust me. If you don't trust me, you can stand away from me, but it will not be drawn. By the way, I rolled a 7, so.
They look at you and they said, they just hold their hand out. It's just like, let us hang on to it. And if you at least can be tolerated on the boat ride, we will give it back.
Okay, I hand it over.
Okay, so they wrap it up, and now you and Godfrey are in the canoe, and you guys like follow along, and then the last one rolls up, and of course in this case just McCoy. When you're about to board in, Chester says, "Be careful. These people live in the swamp as if like they're animals. I mean, just be kind of careful." No, McCoy.
Sorry.
I just look at him, and I just look at the canoe and just go there in silence.
Okay, so you do that. So you guys paddle away. It's
Wait, I didn't give him my weapons yet.
Yeah, I'm assuming you're giving your
okay,
weapons.
sure.
Yeah, so you just gave your weapons, wrapped it up, and just put it away. So you guys are, in this case, you guys paddle off away from the BB, the black bear. And at this time, as you guys go off, the canoes go into a shroud of fog. And it's really hard to see anything. All you see is the water and just whatever the horizon is. And they just keep paddling. And they're quiet. Miles goes on. An hour. 2 hours. The only thing that you could tell is that the sky is getting to that sunset color, so it's no longer blue skies, it's getting to that like, rosy orange red color as the sun's about to set, but they're still paddling on as if like they're unfazed by how much time has passed. As you guys are quietly going like paddling on, Godfrey and Dunfleur, you guys are sitting there in the boat, and one of the people who's like paddling, he just looks directly ahead. He's not really looking at you guys. He says, "You have a lot on your mind." And he kind of looks at you, Eric, and then keeps looking on.
I just kind of stare at the water in silence, not really replying nor reacting to that statement.
Yeah, I'm gonna do the same and not react.
And he kind of looks over at you, Godfrey, and says, he's as if he was about to say something, but he stays quiet. But it's not like he's like intimidated or just kind of like, he just kind of looks at you, and you know how people kind of look at you, they're about to say something, you're like, you know what, I'm just going to decide not to say anything. That's kind of like the vibe you're getting right now. You guys keep paddling, and eventually you notice that the waterway becomes more narrow. You kind of see more trees, you see foliage, it's all that beautiful bright green. You keep going along, and can everyone roll intelligence, please? Just D20. And this will be a group effort.
12.
13.
12.
11.
Okay.
Oh wait, intelligence?
Yeah.
10.
Okay. So because majority of people got like good rates, as you guys are staring out into the fog, you see what looks to be like something bright that's not the sun. And as you get closer, the fog kind of parts way, and you see what looks to be like a little fire. And as they're going up what looks to be a river now, you see like another fire. You see all these huts. You see people. You don't know how long they've been there for, but they've just been sitting there the entire time. And all of a sudden, like as you guys are entering, you see what looks to be multiple huts, multiple people, men, women, and they're all standing by the river just kind of watching everyone come in. At this time, the canoes kind of park on the beach, and I'm going to bring up the map, so hold on 1 second. Once you are parked on the boats, the people usher you to stand up. They guide you along to what looks to be a larger tent where there's 2 fires kind of on the side of it. And there's 2 kind of like guards by the entryway. And then out from this hut is another man who seems like a little bit larger, a little bit more intimidating, a little bit like more experienced. In this case, would you like to describe how your character looks?
I mean, he has hair, has a bun on, and he has this hat, and he has an eye patch, and has pieces of armor all over him.
So they have McCoy be up in front of the line. So everyone's kind of like following them like in a single filed line. Everyone's like surrounding everyone. They're all holding onto your weapons, your belongings. And and one warrior steps forward towards what you guys can recognize as the chief. And the warrior kind of does like a little head bow as if like showing respect. And he says, "Chief, we found these people nearing our fishing hole. And we understand that by your orders, we are supposed to bring anyone who comes close to our territory."
Who are they?
They point to McCoy. It's like, "This one calls itself McCoy. Why they are here or what their intentions are, I do not know, but I wanted to bring them to you."
Okay.
So they're all just standing there kind of quietly, and everyone, like, any chattering going on, because the chief's voice is very booming, it's very authoritative, but he's talking softly. He's obviously in charge, but he doesn't need to yell. But he's kind of looking at you, McCoy, and the warrior kind of looks at him and says, "You answer any of his questions. And if our chief believes in you or asks any questions, just answer as much as you can. Unfortunately, you've had a foul bit of luck as of late, but do you understand?"
I understand.
Is there anyone of your party that we need to be mindful about, or anyone who might say something regrettable?
Well, two, in fact. One guy, Don Fleur, and Free God.
It's Godfrey.
My bad. Free God.
As you're like, you kind of like singing, you're like having a little fun, but everyone's like just this stone face expression. They just kind of look at you and they look at the two and they said, and the warrior kind of nods his head a little bit, and like two more guards stand by Godfrey and Don Fleur, and they're just standing there. He kind of looks at the chief and says, "Chief, please ask them whatever you wish."
All right. So, what has you coming all the way over here?
My boat and my crew here, we're just passing by to go to a lady's house down south.
As soon as you said that, all the people kind of like look around at each other, and they sort of look at McCoy and they look at the chief, but they sit quietly. They don't really do anything.
A lady, you say?
A lady. My friend here, Claude, can actually explain what we're doing here.
Yes. So as McCoy said, I've been living in these swamps my whole life. There's a woman who lives kind of southwest from your village, I believe, and we were going to see her, as I've passed by and talked to her a few times.
That's right. What do you guys want from her?
I'm not quite sure, but maybe my captain knows, because I said we could go there for maybe intel, because we are on a mission of sorts.
And as soon as you said mission, once again they kind of look at each other, but they're not saying anything.
I'm gonna whisper to like both McCoy and Claude. I'm just gonna say like, wait, that's what we're doing? I wasn't paying attention. I thought we were still searching for like, the okay.
As soon as you said that, the warrior says, "Treasure."
Well, not necessarily treasure, but just cargo that our boss lady is missing, just basically.
A boss lady? Who's she?
Well, we've just been hired. We don't really personally know her, but we're just here to just retrieve some lost cargo that she had lost. We mean no harm at all.
One of the warriors turns to the chief. He kind of like stares at the chief for a while, looks back at McCoy, and they look back at the chief and says, "Chief, is this the same lady that we had to deal with before?"
It seems so.
I look confused. The same lady?
We've had an experience with a lady, one who seems like she owns, even though she doesn't really own it. There's something different about her.
different.
Does she have an alligator from your knowledge?
They nod.
That's her.
Well, we certainly did not know that until now.
I warn you. People get next to her and they vanish.
What exactly were you told, if anything?
We were told to just retrieve a box. Cargo box?
It was like a box with, I believe, her valuables of some kind in it, and she told us to retrieve it and that we would possibly go missing or die from this.
Do you have any knowledge of, like, any single thing that she's done, like, nearby here? Like, what's caused you so much trouble with her?
The warrior kind of looks down and they just look at the chief as if, like, they're just expecting you to say something.
Well, many people, my people, went near her and they never came back.
I am so sorry to hear that.
She asks about places to find riches. And he kind of just says quietly, just looks at the chief and says, let's just say that we, based on good faith, try to help her in the hopes that she would leave us alone. And unfortunately, things have gotten worse.
Did she kill your people?
That's unknown.
Oh. I'm so sorry to hear that. If I had known that had happened, I don't know if I would have taken this job.
Yeah, if any of us would have known this, we wouldn't have taken this.
I'm gonna ask McCoy, should I give the exact description of the item? It was the golden cane. Should I?
The golden cane?
Oh.
Yeah, you should.
What, did you give her the location to a golden cane or staff of some sort?
When you said that, everyone just sort of like lowers their head a little bit, except for the chief. Like even the warrior kind of like looks back as if like people don't really talk about this, but the warrior nods a little bit, but he just looks at the chief as if like expecting you to answer the question. The warrior kind of says, the alligator man's cane. That, you remember the story, Chief?
Oh, yeah, I do. So, have you guys ever heard of an alligator man?
The alligator, ma'am. I don't think so.
No, not to... Wait. Does he have a description, to your knowledge, of what he looked like?
An alligator.
Oh, it was an alligator.
That's a human.
Oh, so it's like a beast of some sort?
Not just a beast, it's a story.
Oh.
I mean, long ago, our people who have lived here way before others have come to remove us from our home.
Oh.
We're the last remnants of our tribe. We don't know where many of our brothers and sisters have gone since conflicts and war, but before all that, there were stories of this alligator man, this mystical person. And he, or it, was a beneficial person. It said that he'd have the power to grow forests or completely decimate them. Now our people, for generations, we've left the alligator man alone in the hopes that he kept his own territory and we kept to our own. We had trade, and then, as the story goes, he just vanished. Now we know that north there's a sacred place called Alligator's Maw, which supposedly that's where his resting place is. And that is the same location that we told to this woman that was hired. We just hoped that she would go away, or maybe she would find nothing, because it's a story. But he kind of looks at the chief and says, Chief, how many people have we lost when we sent them out to find food?
We've lost about 40 or 50.
And that's only from 2 weeks. Whatever she stirred up, it is not happy. In fact, we've confined ourselves to this small settlement because our main village, we were not so sure that it's even safe to go there.
Oh wow, I did not know that all that happened. Just so you guys will go hunting and your warriors will just go missing.
Pretty much.
Wow, she did say that she sent 2 parties before us of like 5 or more people out before us already, and they both went missing as well. I don't know what she's done, but I promise I'll try to make it right for you guys because I feel awful for you.
I'm gonna softly mumble something that no one can hear, and then I'm gonna basically say, for a price, I may be of service to help you with whatever, problems you may have.
Did they have weapons?
They do.
Where are they?
We have them holding as you instructed.
Okay. So, are you still gonna go visit her?
The woman?
Yes.
Yes, we are going to go to her house on the way there because even though it was kind of not exactly the direction I think we were instructed to go, I think she might know some things because she's a very knowledgeable lady from what I've seen.
You have to be kind of careful of her, though.
We understand. We thank you for your service and kindness that you have brought on to us.
Give them the weapons. They'll need them.
There was a moment of hesitation as if the warriors were a little surprised you said that after looking at each other, they slowly just give the sacks of all your weapons have been nicely wrapped up and they kind of give them to you quietly individually. And by now, it's pretty much close to being dark. Yeah.
After Claude's handed his weapons, can he kind of just do the bow thing that the warrior did to the chief?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna kind of nod my head and thank them, and then ask if we could seek refuge for the night before returning to our ship.
You can stay here for only this night. And, yeah.
We thank you for your hospitality.
Yes, thank you very much.
We shall not bother you. Thank you.
Okay. So the warriors kind of look at the chief and they kind of look around. And they look. The warrior who's been kind of participating in this conversation said, "Would you like us to make them a spare tent?"
Yes, please.
And they immediately 3-4 warriors go off to quickly work to establishing your tent. One of the warriors, the warrior who's also talking, looks at you, McCoy, and says, "Would you like us to go to your ship to at least send a message that you won't be returning until first light tomorrow?"
Yes. Specifically, only talk to Jesse.
And they nods, and he actually immediately jumps in his canoe and just immediately paddles off. He disappears into the fog. And right now, most of the people who've been watching this slowly go back to their own conversation. Some are roasting food. In this case, can you guys roll intelligence again? 16.
3.
24.
3.
Okay. Most of you guys smell food. For those who rolled high, or in this case Claude, you're kind of familiar with this. There's definitely a smell of alligator being made right now, fish, and they seem to be having plenty. In fact, there was a weird moment of hesitation, but some offer food to you guys. So right now, Chief, are you going to just be standing out, or are you going to go back into your tent?
I'll go back to my tent.
Okay, so the Chief kind of goes back to his tent, and the guards still stand by. Yeah, McCoy?
I would like to ask to Claude about Chester. Remember, wasn't Chester that guy hired by the woman we were hired by?
If my memory serves me right, I think the man she had that kind of helped her recruit us, one of her guards, I think he kind of went and got him from somewhere, if
Wait.
memory recalls.
Do I hear this conversation?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just gonna interject saying I believe technically she did hire him, but I don't know if he directly was involved. I don't think he knows anything. He just seems to be just a hire, captain for hire.
Well, maybe once morning breaks, we should question him about what he knows.
Okay.
Yeah, I do remember that when he got on the ship, he seemed a little excited. It might just be his personality, but almost like he might have done something like this before.
Right. I agree with you on this.
So it's definitely, everyone's kind of settling in for the night. How do you guys want to go about? Because right now you can kind of see like another tent, and I'll put it on the map right here. Like on the very corner, they put in a new tent for you guys, kind of like over here. It's kind of like not too far away from everyone else, but it's kind of like far enough where it's like, you're not right in the middle. They don't want you to feel intimidated. They just kind of put you in the very edge of this little settlement. But how are you guys going to spend the rest of your evening, if anything?
So there's still people outside just talking
Yeah.
and stuff, right? Okay. I might just try and sit by a campfire, like nearby a lot of other people, and just listen to conversations.
So you do that. We'll get to you in a second. Yeah.
Did Claude kind of like see Dawnfleur go and sit next to a campfire? Can Claude kind of go to that campfire and kind of try to, like, if people don't want to talk to him, then that's fine, but he'll like kind of look like he's open to talk to people if anyone
Right.
does want to talk.
Okay.
I'm not necessarily tired, so I might as well just join Claude and Dawnfleur.
Okay.
I'm gonna go to like a semi-lonely campfire.
Okay.
Just chill there, kind
Okay.
of listen.
Okay.
I'm just gonna look at my sword.
Okay. So for those who are going to a campfire that has people, you kind of tell like there's some people like talking to each other as if telling like a story. And for those who are sitting by a campfire that has people nearby, can you guys roll intelligence, please?
$17.
Okay.
8.
18.
Okay. So, for Reno and Eric, you're having a hard time kind of, because they're speaking in their native tongue, you don't really know what they're saying. They're just using a lot of like hand expressions and gestures. But for Claude and McCoy, you were definitely following along the telling story about a run-in with a giant snapping turtle and how they dispatched it. There was like a guy who almost lost his toe as they're like pantomiming all this. So you were able to follow along while the other two are kind of like, what is he doing? What's going on? But you guys quietly sit there learning the story. I want to ask, because I know Godfrey, you're kind of just looking over your sword. And you're kind of just sitting there. No one's like bugging you. Yeah, Claude.
I was gonna ask if I could like whisper to McCoy. That's extremely impressive.
Yep.
I know, right?
I hope to be like these people one day. They've always been like so cool to me.
Well, I'm glad you took us down here.
Okay. So, what I was gonna ask, Godfrey, are you doing anything else, or are you just kind of looking over your sword for a bit?
Yeah, I'm still doing that.
Okay. So, so you guys sit there for like an hour. You definitely hear the sound of rain. Like rain starts to like just start to drizzle from above, and a lot of people kind of look up. They don't seem too bothered, but this is like the sign for people like slowly kind of go into their tent for the night. What are you guys gonna do?
I guess Claude kind of like turns to McCoy and is like, "Do you want to go to the tent?"
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah.
I'm also gonna go back to my tent, back to the tent.
Okay.
While I'm in the tent, I'm just gonna be trying to do some simple knife tricks, like throwing it around
Okay.
and stuff.
I'm gonna go back into the tent and start reading the Bible.
Interesting reading, but okay. It sucks.
I just rip it in half.
Oh, that's
And then Godfrey, so you're kind of like by the tent, but you've been like kind of outside the tent, like just like looking at your sword, just like moving it around. Everyone's kind of going back into the tent. What are you gonna do?
Why are they going into the tent again?
It's raining.
Because it's raining right now.
Oh, it's raining.
He's just so emo.
He just doesn't have eyes.
No, he just needs to
Literally
listen.
isn't paying attention.
I'm gonna. Are the fires still up?
Fires are still on. They'll probably die out at some point, but their fires are still on at the moment. Yes.
I'll just go to a tent that I can go to.
Okay.
Go to my tent. Sorry.
You're all sharing tents.
Our 10.
You would know this if you were paying attention.
Give us like a sleepover moment, like where we all just sleep.
Do you guys want to have a sleepover?
Yes.
Okay, so you guys are sitting there inside the tent. The rain is picking up for like next 20 minutes and it's starting to get heavier and heavier to the point where you no longer really hear any sounds outside your tent, like conversations. What do you guys want to do, if anything?
The Bible.
Can Claude like notice that Abigail's reading and just be like, "What are you reading?
The Bible.
What is the Bible?"
Roll for intelligence, Reno.
For intelligence.
It's a bunch of bullcrap, that's what it is. 20, 22.
So, Reno.
You explain everything about Jesus.
No, just remember, restrain yourself
I
a little
know.
bit. Reno kind of goes on to explain the Bible, its point of it, of how it's supposed to guide people to what many would say is like a higher place in life, especially when you follow certain religious doctrines.
Does it teach you how to hunt better then? Because you said it makes your life better.
And
Then-
they're shaking their head no viciously.
Then what? It doesn't seem very helpful to me. It's just a bunch of words on a page.
It specifically says not to hunt animals because it's wrong.
This book is a disgrace.
I'm just reading it as a pastime. I
Okay.
don't have a better one.
Hunting is the only way of life. That is how you eat. How does it propose you exist if you do not hunt an
Farm.
animal?
Farm.
Farm what? In this marsh? In this big swamp? What is there
Just
to,
don't live in
to
Florida.
farm? In Florida?
In Florida.
Is that where we are now?
Exist in like.
Oh,
Oh, it did. Oh,
I didn't know that the place I lived is called Florida.
You can call it whatever you want.
I
okay.
just
I'm cutting
called
this
it
out.
the swamp. I mean, I haven't really talked to people in a while, as you can probably tell.
Pretty accurate.
The frog just croaks. Moss is on their head. And basically, everyone but Claude, you don't understand what the frog is saying. You just hear it croak.
What did it say
Potion wore
then?
off.
I'm just gonna take off my coat and just like put it over my my laying body, like because I'm like on the floor, just putting my jacket, trench coat like just over me at this point.
Okay. So you guys continue to talk it out over the next like hour. The rain just gets kind of heavier and heavier. Most people went into their tents, at least from what you could see outside. The only thing you could see outside your tent is like there's a little fire, and it's kind of like the reason why it's not out yet is because like there's a nice large tree branch kind of protecting the fire from the rain, and there's just one warrior just kind of sitting there, just kind of like keeping an eye. He's just like a guard of sorts, but he's just sitting there. It's kind of like close to being 9 o'clock at this point. Yeah.
Oh, if you're still describing something.
No,
I'm
just
just gonna
yeah,
talk.
go ahead.
So is there like any part of this tent that's kind of empty, or are we kind of like cramped in there?
No, you have a bit of space. I mean, it's not like a large tent like the chief has, but it's kind of like if you were to look at like maybe like you know how big like the clear area is like normally when this classroom is set up normally, kind of like take like half that size.
So Claude, he kind of looks. So he's kind of just they're doing maybe small talk or something, and he kind of just turns his head to look at like a spot that seems empty, and he just goes, "When did you get here?"
Huh?
What?
What? Do you not? The guy right there.
Oh, yeah, him. I know him. And I'm gonna scoot over to McCoy. I think they're in place.
You don't see him? He's been talking to us for like the past 10 minutes.
And literally, as they're pointing to the space, there's just an empty space there.
Yeah, no, I know him, yeah.
He said his name is Sean.
Yeah, I know Sean. Yeah, bro, we're best buds.
Bro,
You are?
You gotta love Sean.
He says he doesn't know you.
Yeah, well, he's just messing around.
Can you... Hold a sec. Kronos, can you roll Charisma?
9. That's nice.
There's just a weird silence. Keep going.
Well, so there's no one there? Like, actually? You don't see him?
There's no one there.
Can Claude kind of like reach out and try to touch Sean?
Honestly, all you're doing is just reaching out to an empty space.
Yeah, and then he's kind of like, you're not real?
Moss just ribbits.
Because I have my hat on my face for some reason, and I just kind of like lift it up to see what's going on, and I'm like, and just put it down.
Okay.
I'm sorry, sometimes this happens to me, I don't know, but I see things that aren't there. I thought he was there, but I guess he wasn't.
I'm just gonna say, like, I thought you were the smart one here.
I thought that was Miss Landon. How would you think I was the smart one? I can't even read.
Fair enough.
It's a
I'm just gonna go back to play with my knife.
assumption.
So McCoy, you're kind of like you have your hat over your face right now. Is there anyone else who's kind of like laying low and just like kind of ignoring all this going on right now? Like, who's still awake?
Me.
But you have your faces covered though.
Yeah, my face is covered, but I'm still
Okay.
like I can hear everything.
And Abigail's kind of like just laying around. Okay. Can Cronus, Ross, and Eric, can you roll D20 intelligence, please?
18.
Yeah, 18 also.
6.
So, while Claude is kind of fixated on the empty space, Cronus and Eric, when you were, like, before, like, there was just that little fire that was still on, and there's, like, that warrior just sitting there. You don't really hear anything but the rain, but when you look up, you see that not only is the fire out, but the guy is gone.
Okay.
Yeah.
How late is it?
It's like 9:30.
I don't see something so suspicious about that. I like honestly, he could have just like went to sleep. I don't see what's wrong
Yeah, but
about.
it's 9:30. Because if he's supposed to go out for watch, he wouldn't leave 30 minutes after everyone went in the tents.
Oh wait, he's doing watch. That makes sense.
Most
actually.
likely. Why else would a single person be out there?
In fact, I'll just get rid of the fire and the dude.
To be dramatic, I don't know.
Can I go out there?
Okay. So you walk out there, and when you immediately hit the tent, there's just like, you just see like pitch black. You feel the rain dripping on your head, and you're kind of looking around. There is a flash of lightning. As soon as the flash happens, you swore that there's something by where the fire used to be, like a shape. Flash is gone, it's just pitch dark.
I'm gonna draw my sword.
Okay. Yeah.
Do I notice this? Like, what's happening?
You're kind of watching as Cronus goes outside, and he just pulls out a sword. That's all you kind of see.
I'm gonna yell over and it's like, "Hey, Rodney, what you doing out there, man?"
I'm gonna gesture just like the.
Yeah.
When Claude hears him shout, can he kind of like look out the door? Because he did kind of see
Sure.
him leave, but
You
he
just
didn't.
see darkness.
Like, no, like trying to look at him because
Okay.
to see that he pulled his sword out.
Yeah, you see him pull his sword out.
Can I ask, like, what's happening? Why do you have your sword out?
just not gonna answer. Can I? Well, because it's a rapier, it doesn't have
sure.
Sharp on both ends. Can I like try to tap around the ground for any feet or anything?
Blind stick.
So you're just kind of like moving your feet. So
Yeah,
you
just
do
kinda-
this. You
Yeah,
don't
I'm just
you don't
kinda-
you don't you don't hit anything.
I don't hit anything.
No, you just like it's just nothing.
I'm gonna step forward to where the figure.
Okay, so you are going out. What you thought? So you're going out there. When you see another flash, there's just the moment you can kind of see. You see like just the fire pit is like crushed, and there's just nothing around. But there's something by the fallen log to your left. And can you roll intelligence super quickly?
9.
You only saw like this shape. It definitely looks tall, but because of how quick that lightning flash was, it's hard to tell like how big it is. But you hear absolutely nothing. And Claude, can you roll a d20 since you're looking out the doorway? And Eric, are you also looking out the doorway, or are you just
Yeah.
kind of sitting in place? Can you roll
Yeah.
for intelligence as well?
17.
For intelligence?
Yeah.
19.
17.
Wait, what? What was it?
19.
Okay. When you saw the flash, you definitely saw like something like a figure, but it's not like 6 feet tall. It's about like 12 feet tall. It's just like the shape. It's kind of hunched over, and as soon as like the lightning stops and you hear the thunder, dead quiet. All you hear is just rain.
Can Claude kind of like get out of the tent really quickly and like go over to where Godfrey is?
Yeah. So you go out. So I'll move you. You're. Oh yeah, you're great. So you're going out there.
And he kind of goes to Godfrey. Did you see that giant creature?
But I said,
Yeah.
Can I draw my like the new gun I got?
Sure. Donfer, are you still staying in your tent? Because you see this, and you saw Reno go. Sorry, not Reno. Claude go outside. Reno's still asleep.
I'm just gonna head back into the tent. I'm just gonna say, I'm gonna go to sleep now.
Kind of drunk.
Is there anyone in the village that would fit that height that I saw roughly? No.
You know for a fact, even though there's that brief moment of flat, like, this is not a person.
Can I just groan because I hear everything? As I'm hearing like. all
No,
this, or-
unfortunately. Well, roll for intelligence. See if you're able to hear.
1.
You don't hear anything.
I'm just gonna be like, you, I know you're there.
Are you saying this out loud?
Yes, I'm gonna shout it. Actually, no, I'm not gonna shout it. I'm just gonna say it in the direction of this figure that I saw.
You say that. There's just rain and darkness. You hear nothing. When lightning flashes again, this large shape seems to be close by to the chief's tent.
Don't do it.
You lost your map.
Don't do it.
What if it-
I know you're gonna do it.
Godfrey.
Isn't your map?
What if it's the man from the legend? Can Claude actually switch out his gun for his bow and arrow and kind of like pull back the string
Sure.
and like just aim at the chief's door? Well, not exactly, kind of. Where did he see it? It wasn't at the chief's like.
So it's kind of like, I'll just
Me
move this
first.
triangle. You saw the shape like there.
Can he kind of aim for that, but like kind of. He's not exactly holding his bow like completely like he's gonna shoot it. Like maybe kind of like, you know how people like turn their bow like this.
Sure,
where they
sure,
have
sure,
it-
sure, sure.
He has it like armed, but it's not like, yeah, I'm pulling back my arm to shoot it. He just has it where he could probably just shoot it if he needed to.
Okay.
Because somebody wakes up, that seemed very threatening.
Can you roll? Drop this dice and just use your intelligence. Okay. There's just silence. When the lightning flashes again, you don't see anything there. It's just gone.
Sure there's nothing?
I mean,
I'm gonna check.
okay, so you're gonna walk over there?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're gonna roll for agility for stealth.
21.
Okay. You quietly, like, avoiding, like, the mud, the rocks, the puddles, you just find yourself, and it's, like, really kind of hard because you're just, like, being very careful. When lightning flashes again, where you're staying around the air, you don't see anything. Claude, can you roll d20 for me super quick?
Yeah. I know, I was actually gonna ask if I could turn around, but you know, whatever. That's not good. For intelligence, because that's a 3.
You don't hear or see anything. You're just kind of watching Godfrey or wherever Godfrey is going at. Eric, can you roll d20 for... Just roll d20, please.
Seven.
You just sit there, because, like, Abigail and McCoy are just asleep. And you're sitting there. All you hear is just rain dripping down on the tent. You rolled a 1. You're, like, out. You are definitely, like, you don't hear anything. Even if you're not asleep, you rolled a 1. You're not hearing anything.
That hat is really soundproof.
Dawn Flare, you're just sitting there just watching the door as if something or someone's going to come through. Nothing comes through.
Cool.
However, you feel the back of the tent cave in a little bit as something grabs you and rips you away. The entire tent just flings off from the ground, and now Abigail and McCoy, can you roll d20 super quickly?
Doesn't wake up, just like is still asleep.
5.
20.
McCoy, you immediately hear like just something just snap, and you bolt up awake. Abigail, it takes you a little bit. The only thing that wakes you up is the sound, is the feel of rain just coming down, like on your body. You're just like, huh, it's a little chance of rain. Claude,
Wait.
I'm assuming Claude would hear.
you hear this, Claude. You turn around
Yeah, I kind of spin around really quick.
and darkness, lightning flash, and you just see Dawn Fleur hanging off the ground, like 10 feet off the ground, in the grip of something. And all you see is like these like red eyes looking down at you.
That's menacing.
Can Claude
Hey.
kind of like put his bulb like this, like towards its face, like not shooting it? Can he just yell at McCoy and kind of louder when he
Sure,
yells Abigail's
sure,
name
sure.
to come towards him and get away from it?
Okay. Yeah.
Can I first of all scream so at least
Yes.
one of the
No, you just like picked up. You're just like, I'm okay with this.
Yeah, no, I
like as loud as possible so some like warriors hear.
Sure.
But-
You yell. Roll.
But also, can I pull out my pocket knife and try and kind of just wildly swing behind me
Okay.
to try and hit something?
So, Sam, the chief hears something. You just hear screaming. What do you do?
Get out.
Okay, you walk out. When you hold on. When you run out, you see Godfrey kind of just sitting there with their sword, just kind of like looking around, and you also hear the scream as well. Do you turn around? Okay. So when you all turn around, there's just a darkness, but then just lightning, and for everyone, and I'll just get rid of the tent here. And I will
Boom,
have
gone.
them. I'm assuming. Wait, Abigail and one second, guys. Don't get distracted. McCoy and Abigail, can you roll agility, please, to see if you're able to get to Claude?
With modifiers or
Just agility.
17.
18?
Okay, so you guys quickly move over. What you see, and I'll show you on the screen, is this. So you're seeing, like right now, you're swinging your knife, and you're kind of like, you even kind of felt like you jabbed it. It's not moving. It's just holding on to you. And it's just like looking down at you. And if you kind of imagine like Jurassic Park in the first one, where like the T-Rex is in the rain and like you kind of don't really see it as much, that's kind of like what's happening right now. And it's just kind of looking down at you guys. You also see it as well, especially as the lightning splashes. And from your angle, in fact, roll d20, and Godfrey, roll d20 for intelligence.
No.
What was it?
Well, he has to roll again.
9.
That was good.
For both the Chief and Godfrey, it's a really hard for you to see, but you can't tell if this thing is like 20 feet long. So it's like at least 10 feet tall, but you can't tell whether it's 20 feet or potentially 30 feet long. It's huge. And it just has Claude in its grip. And sorry, not Claude. Don Flair. Yeah. Yeah.
Can Claude kind of, does he notice that like the chief came out of
No.
Okay.
You're just primarily focused on.
Can he kind of like yell to Don Fleur and be like, what even happened? What? Where did this come from?
Who are you saying this to?
Don Fleur.
You're just talking to Don Fleur casually.
He's not exactly.
I'm gonna yell as loud as I can, Claude. Why are you being so calm? Shoot him.
I might hit you because it's just some
I
big
don't
rock.
care.
Can I try to shoot above his head?
Hold on, I want to consider dynamite explosion radius.
Well, but he's being held.
Yes.
It would hurt him.
35 feet in regular D&D.
Who said it was 35 feet?
I don't know about on this. No, in regular D&D, it's a 35-foot explosion radius.
One that hit Eric
Same
too.
thing, yeah.
Oh my, 35.
One that hit Eric too, though, because
Yeah, would hit
that's why we shouldn't do that.
You'd have to do a perfect throw that would be up in the air, that would have just enough, that would be perfectly timed, so it would
Doesn't care
explode
about his
before it
life,
hits the
bro,
ground.
honestly.
Which you are not doing unless you roll a nat 20. So don't. Just no.
Can I try to shoot like so?
Yeah.
His eyes are like above,
It explodes.
like his head is above Eric's. Can I try to shoot like above where Eric is at, where I presume his head is? Like if I see the eyes and stuff.
Okay. Chief, is there anything you want to do right now?
Can I call the villagers out of their huts?
Okay. Roll d20. You shout, and no one seems to be responding to you right now because your voice is being overshadowed by the rain. Godfrey, were you gonna do anything?
Yeah, can I start yelling at the top of my lungs, alligator man? Because that's something that will get them alerted.
So you're just yelling alligator man?
Yes.
Roll d20.
Okay. Oh, it was about to be on a 13, but now it's on a 5. Okay, yeah.
You yell that. No one seems to stir. But this thing just looks at you. And it's just hanging on to Don Flair. But it's like locking its eyes towards you, Godfrey.
You
Yeah,
distracted.
bro.
Now you
You.
can shoot it.
Alternative.
You are the alligator man.
No.
Grab me
Why
instead
not?
of that guy.
Oh, do nothing, bro. You're gonna pray to God and hope that He comes down
No,
to
I'm
save
just
you.
gonna throw the Bible
Literally,
at
that's
it.
no. Let me shoot it. You stupid.
I like take out my
He already
loaded dice. You want to
distracted it, now I
gamble
can
instead?
shoot it.
Oh, you want to shoot his?
I'm about to shoot it. I just asked if I can shoot it with the bow and arrow.
So you're gonna fire the bow and arrow?
Yeah, because now
Okay.
he's distracted too. So
Okay. Roll for ranged.
I'm about to get a 10 on this. 70.
Okay. Can you roll 2 d4s, please?
3 for the first one and 3 for the second one, so 6.
You fire an arrow, it flies up and it lands on the neck of this thing, it just like it doesn't move. It just slowly looks back at you. And it just makes a low guttural growl in its throat without opening its mouth. It holds Dawnfleur up higher. It seems to like take an inhale.
Eats him. I'm gonna shoot him. That's your fault.
Snaps his neck.
It opens its mouth.
I want to shoot him.
And it just emits this, like, it's hard to tell at night, but it almost just looks like fog coming out of its mouth into Dawnfleur. Eric, you roll for grit, please.
Should have used the bite.
Afraid. Oh no.
That was a 4.
That's a 6.
It's at first, you don't really recognize what's happening, but weird enough, like, you just smell like the rain, the foliage around you, but all of a sudden it just smells like this weird, like, almost that, it's kind of like, you know, like that smell of chlorine? It's kind of like that, except it's really intense. You don't really exactly, obviously, because it's in the 1800s, you don't really know what chlorine is, but you just feel this and you just go limp. And the thing just looks at you and it drops you. Can you roll? So that's 10 feet. Just roll d4.
It's gonna stop.
Oh, you meant D4.
Why? Well, I was gonna say you're just gonna take damage because you're unconscious right now.
That's fair.
No, have us roll for agility to go and catch him. Like,
Nope.
There's no agility in this situation.
I was a joke.
Oh, yeah, that's it.
Oh, I only take 1 damage.
So you just kind of fall on your side. It's just a loud crash, and this thing just looks at you, and it just stares at you as you just see like the arrow just like gets pushed out. It doesn't even touch it. It just stands there. It's just like.
Can Claude kind of scope? Sorry to the monster.
It just stands there. It turns its head a little bit and makes eye contact with you. And then it looks back down at Claude. It just turns its body.
It kills me.
What's your durability?
14.
It turns and its tail whips. And it just goes over your head.
Oh.
Where it smashes into a tree and breaks the tree in two.
Dynamite.
And it just kind of just starts to walk away.
Thank you for dropping my friend. Sorry for shooting you.
It stops.
No.
It turns around.
No.
Yes, I'm so good at this.
It starts to like just open its mouth.
Amazing.
It takes a deep inhale. And
It hates people talking, dude. It's antisocial.
I'm just gonna shoot this thing.
it's about to like emit something. And why do you keep saying yes? Stop being edgy.
How is it edgy to say?
I don't know. You're just kind of like one of those people just like,
excited about getting inflicted with pain.
I know.
It's my new best friend. What?
Pain is not your friend.
No, it's the thing.
It emits another, like the same fog that Dawnfleur got hit with, and it is rolling towards you. Like it hits the ground, and just like fog is just like moving towards you and the others. So at this time, I need you, McCoy, and Abigail roll for grit.
Nothing good. 9.
18.
Sorry, hold on.
19.
You two are fine. Like you smell it, and just like ugh. But you're standing around. Claude collapses.
Can I use dynamite on this guy?
He just throws it.
And right now, the creature's kind of staring at you as if like they're staring at the two of you. It looks at Godfrey. It looks at the chief, and it's just like it's just kind of standing there. It just looks really angry.
We're using dynamite on this guy.
Well,
I don't care.
who's we?
I really wish I was
Who is
awake.
we?
Oh,
But
can do
I
that.
think like our next priority should be to get the chief to have someone go to the boat and get some of that elixir that allows us to talk to animals.
Yeah, can you cast?
Unless oh yeah, wait, I forgot he can just do that.
Sure.
Useful for once.
I can talk to animals too.
Yeah. So you cast. What do you say?
Alligator man.
There's silence.
Oh.
You just hear a low guttural growl in your head. Just like.
What, do you prefer another name?
There's a silence. He just kind of looks at you, or turns his head. Who sent you?
Oh, this lady that's trying to take this land.
He just growls more. What did she tell you?
Told me to get this golden rod.
It just stares at you.
Say as the alligator man's staff.
Do you know how many people I've killed who are taking my property?
Oh yeah, no, we're not gonna take it. The people here told us how actually bad she was, so we're gonna get it and then give it back to them. But do you want it now?
It's not theirs.
Okay, yeah. So
It's
we'll
mine.
Bring it back to you.
Are we just doing headbands as a mission?
We're like, no.
Can you roll charisma for a second?
Wait, you already have it?
Rolls a 1.
You already have it, man.
19.
He kind of looks at the chief. He says, I should kill everyone, especially him. He just moves his, like, his 3-fingered hand to point at the chief. If it wasn't for him, I would be sleeping.
Yeah, he's quite problematic. But may I ask, what
You're hearing.
exactly did he
You're
do?
hearing this, by the way.
What exactly did he do to wake you up?
He told them where I was sleeping. And I don't think killing all his men, we've reached the debt. The debt has not been fulfilled yet. Yeah.
Did he hear when the chief was talking about them helping the reasoning for helping the woman? Because there was a reason they wanted her to leave them alone.
Yeah.
That's why he told.
Yeah, I mean, he heard, but
So
either
I think, like,
he's not
you
saying
really
that.
should be able, you should bring that up because that could give a reason to the monster. Just saying.
Well, I mean, he said that under certain circumstances because she had betrayed these people here, and they were just asking what she was after. But I mean, you know, you can kill him if you want, but like, we're just saying that some of us here might actually be good use to you.
It just makes this low guttural growl and just kind of looks around.
Involuntarily volunteered.
Do you even know where my property is?
Well, that's what we're trying to find out. We know someone who might be able to help us find it, and that's where we're heading right now. We just stopped here.
So, Chief, you're kind of hearing this, and you've kind of made the connection that it's talking to this thing.
Can I be like,
Confused?
sure?
You're a little confused. This creature's just staring at you, especially. It just seems very irritated with you. He kind of looks back at you, Godfrey. He's like, why should I trust you?
Huh?
Why should I trust you? Do people know what you are?
Not necessarily. I mean,
Your scent gives you away.
yeah, well, I don't know if these other people can exactly have that good of smell like you.
Most. I know what he is. My character.
Hold on. He just kind of looks at you. It's just like this glare, as if like, you know, like when dogs stare at something before they like rip it apart. That's what it's kind of doing right now.
Nice.
It just looks at Dawn Fleur and Claude, who are still like out. He kind of looks back at them and says, "And what about them? Do you care about them?"
Claude, the one with the more ragged clothing, happens to be much use to us at this moment. But the person you currently have in your hand has done nothing but be rude and give your location away. But I
You
mean,
liar.
he can be used also. But I mean, that's up to you.
Yeah,
Can I just check up on Claude if he's like quote unquote alive?
sure. Roll for intelligence.
19.
They have a pulse. It's a little slow, but they're alive.
Okay.
So this creature just stands there. It just kind of looks down at Claude and just doesn't seem that real apathetic. It just kind of looks back at you and she says, "Well, it's unfortunate for them. They won't have much long." He kind of looks at you and says, "So you're saying if I don't kill you all right now, you can give me what's mine?"
Yes. But, of course, it's up to your option. All I'm asking is that you don't kill these innocent people in these tents around us. Well, I won't exactly. But, yeah.
Tell the chief, what is he willing to pay for me sparing his village, especially after his betrayal?
Oh.
So you could talk to him now.
Yeah, so what are you willing to pay this kind creature over here for not killing everyone in this village right now?
Anything.
Anything.
Just anything.
Uh,
I care much about my people.
okay, I'm gonna go back to talking with the kind creature over there.
Okay.
So he says he's willing anything. Is there anything specific you want?
He just sort of looks down. He just stares at you and says, "Once I have my property back, we will work out the details."
I'm gonna explain that to the chief.
Okay.
So he's willing to work out the details after the work is done, which is where we give him his property back.
I guess that's fine.
He said that's perfectly fine with him.
He just looks at you. Can you roll for charisma?
Roll a 3.
It just looks at you, tilting its head a little bit, narrows its eyes. If I do not get my property back in 3 days, I will kill everyone here.
Okay. Yeah, it's on our life then. We'll get it back.
I hope so.
Also, if we do get this deal, what do you want with the lady that hired us? Like,
I will deal with her as I see fit.
okay, yeah.
And if you don't, he just reaches down and picks up Dawn Fleur. And he just holds him like a sort of rag doll and just sort of like just looks at Dawn Fleur, looks down at Claude because McCoy's by Claude's body. He just says, "I would hate to see someone as charismatic as you having to deal with more bodies." And he sort of like just crushes, Dawn Fleur's body for a moment. And can you roll for grit, please. You'll have disadvantage because you're unconscious right now.
I'm really mad. I rolled a 20 on my first, but because of disadvantage, I rolled an 8.
You definitely, like, you kind of wake up a little bit because you definitely hear, like, your ribs, like, get crushed in a little bit. And you're kind of, like, gasping for air. And this creature just looks at Godfrey before just moving down and just dropping Dawnfleur again. And just kind of just straightens itself out. 3 days. And it sort of turns its body, where you see it has like a long tail, and it just starts to walk off into the swamp. Its footsteps can be kind of heard because the rain is sort of like pausing a little bit, and it's eventually gone. Hold on, McCoy, what's up?
Since I don't speak to creatures, can I ask Godfrey what happened? Like, what's going on? What's going on?
I struck a deal.
What?
What deal? You have to be more specific. Details. Come on, dude.
We're gonna get his stuff back, and if we don't do it in 3 days, we're all dying like he was just about to. Basically, I delayed it 3 days.
3 days.
I would have tried to get more, but I don't know if that would
Yeah, no,
be...
yeah. Okay, 3 days. Okay. Claude is fine, but I think we should go check up on Dawnfleur.
Yeah, I feel like he might have several crushed ribs. I don't know. He's not the biggest thing at the moment. We should probably... Because he said that the people of this village, betrayed the beast.
Do I hear this? Because technically I'm awake right now.
You kind of do, and you're just in an excruciating amount of pain right now, but you do hear this.
I'm gonna say, like, with as much effort as I can, because obviously, like, I have several ribs crushed, I'm going to just curse him and say, like, screw you, Rodney. Because, like,
why is my name Rodney?
we're all messing up.
Edge of my...
We're all messing up your name on purpose.
Okay, so you're saying this, you're cursing. McCoy, what's up?
So I think my idea is to take Claude and Dawnfleur to the some medic probably in this village, because I think that's like the best thing to do right now. You're a medic? I forgot. I forgot.
Okay. While they're all talking, was there anything you want to say? Or do?
I could take care of them.
Okay, so you're kind of walking over to offer, and it's just the chief walking over to you guys. It seems like people kind of, well, they rolled really badly for intelligence, and they're just kind of like sitting quietly, or like they're still asleep. Yeah.
Could I heal both of them?
Sure. Can you actually roll d20 for just intelligence?
17.
So you notice that Dawnfleur took a little. He's a little bruised up a little bit because he got dropped earlier. But when you look at Claude does not have any damage, or they just got knocked out. But you kind of notice something though on Claude. Claude is a very like unhygienic person. They have like twigs and stick and who knows what in their hair. There's dirt smudges on their body. But you notice that from their nose and their eye, there's just a little bit of like residue that starts to leak out. And it looks green.
Hey, yo, what?
And Dawnfleur, as you like sit up and you cough out, you also, instead of coughing out blood, it's just like green, just like. And we are gonna end the session on this cliffhanger. So thank you once again for everyone to listening in. It was a bit intense with the alligator man, but somehow Godfrey just seems to do so well with talking to animals. They're like Dr. Doolittle, except
not insane this time, hopefully.
So at this time, I'm going to say thank you for listening, and I'll have everyone say goodbye. So say goodbye to everyone.
Goodbye.
Also, don't get eaten by the alligator man.